Okay, yesterday I told you about the scammer that's scamming Americans. But today I want you to hear directly the stories from those who've been affected by this person. Follow along.
Hey, you watching, man, right now? You're watching DC Born Rob on YouTube.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. My name is DC Born Rob, also known as DC Rob. Okay, just as I said in the beginning, I have a few stories from you guys who've been affected by this criminal, and this is actually a redo. When I did the video yesterday, I guess I wasn't explaining enough as to exactly what the scams are and how he's able to get some of these guys. Most of you guys, blow them off. They get a high and a buy at him and they keep moving. But he's good at what he does. I'll show the other video also of him getting arrested maybe in the next few days. But today I want to show you the stories. Again, this is a redo from approximately a year ago. Let's jump into the video. Okay, so first, let me go over this person's MO. Let me describe him first. He's a white male, mid 40s. He had black hair. From what I could tell, he had a couple of gray hairs or streaks in his hair, but it was solid black. And someone had mentioned before he looked like one of the Cuomo brothers, not putting him under the bus or anything, like the Cuomo from CNN and the former governor of New York. Anyway, he goes by the name of Cesar or Cesar Cohn. He actually has a fake, I'm going to say it's a fake Facebook account under Cesar Cohn, Cesar Cohn, Kohn. Okay. But that's I'm pretty sure it's got like 65 people on it and a couple of stupid comments and one picture of him, and it is him, the same person. He says he has a Jewish mother. He says he has a wife and kids there and have had issues with the wife and kids there, or the wife allowing him to see the kids and so on. By the way, he does speak English and Spanish, and that's how he's getting a lot of people. That's how he's hooking you up with other people who only speak Spanish, and you don't speak any Spanish, and you have no idea what they're talking about right in front of you. Again, he mentions his ex-wife and kids a lot. He says he works at JP Morgan. Okay. I doubt that highly. And here's the kicker. He always has a card and no cash. And sometimes he doesn't even have that card. And that's how he gets people. But he's smooth. I actually saw him at work. I saw him. My worry right now is for the brother he was with. Now, I told the story last time. I didn't do a good job at it, because they were switching places. So he's a white guy sitting at the bar with a black guy. The black guy had long dreads halfway down his back. So if you are watching this video, by the way, or if someone knows him or have seen him with him, then have him contact me at dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. More information is coming in right now. I've only posted the pictures just for confirmation purposes in our group. I'm going to post him here in just less than a minute. But I want to put this out here. This is his MO, so be aware of it. And it's not, let's just say it may not be food and drink and money. Okay, it may be more. You may got worse. Okay, now I'm only giving you from what I saw sitting at the bar. I saw him smooth talking a couple of Americans. I have not seen him scam for sure, but a bunch of you guys have. So I've had a bunch of people reach out to me, a few of which I've asked to send me recordings. So here's the first one, and I'm going to pull his picture up right now too. A few pictures of him, but let's just step into the first audio right now.
Hey, what's up, DC Rob? So yeah, man, a little bit about this guy that I know as Cesar from New York City. Now, I met this guy back in October of 2017 on my very first trip to Colombia ever. And the dude said he was from Queens, New York. You know, he's definitely a New Yorker, the way he talks, the way he carries himself. So me being a New Yorker myself, we were able to make that type of connection. And, you know, I met him out there on Calle Diaz over in Medellin. And he just seemed like a regular hustler, just trying to cater to tourists, cater to Americans, and trying to be a resource. So I didn't really think anything of it. He seemed harmless to me, man. Just seemed like a guy that's just trying to get some money. And he was out there and he told me some story about he had his had an apartment that he inherited, and he was working on some legal issues to try to get his property, and that was the reason why he had an extended stay out in Colombia. So that's the stuff that he told me. Either way, I didn't really think nothing of it. I took his number, and we stayed in touch, and he was encouraging me to come back to Colombia. And you know how guys are. Again, they're trying to hustle, whether they got females, whether they got party favors, man. So that's what he was doing. And when I returned from my second trip to Medellin, I actually linked up with the guy. He seemed like a good resource because I was looking for some opportunities to do some stuff in coffee, and he seemed like he had some connections. But then that's when he did some shady, slick stuff. And what he did pretty much was, when he knew I was coming to Colombia, he said, listen, man, I can get you a better deal on a hotel, because with the Colombian people, they get better prices than us foreigners. So what he did was, he said, listen, you stay in Medellin for a few days, I'm gonna get a hotel for you, and you don't have to worry about paying the gringo rate. And so I trusted the guy. I said, okay, no problem. And what he did was, I gave him my information, and he took me to this hotel. He went and talked with the people at the hotel, said, hey, man, everything is all set for you. You're good to go. And I gave him the money directly. And pretty much he scammed me in that manner because, once I went to the hotel room, I thought everything was taken care of. And I'm sitting in the hotel room like a sitting duck. And I happened to go downstairs just to ask for something. I was trying to figure out what are the best restaurants in the area to eat. And then that's when one of the hotel staff told me that, hey, you're in the room right now. You haven't paid for it. Would you like to pay now? So I'm like, what? So I gave this dude money to, book the hotel for me. And he never booked the hotel. He just took the money and dipped. So to me, man, like I said, I think the guy's a drug addict. I don't know, but he's not a dude that I trust, and I never heard from him again. Now, this was a lesson for me because, again, it could have been worse. It could have been, a lot more money involved. It could have been a situation where, he put my safety in danger. And so for that reason, I would say that this is a guy that, you got to be careful of, man. And that's for all of us in general. So that's my story, man. And that's what happened to me, at least with this clown.
Okay, now how about that? Now, so you get the way he works. So here's the second one right now.
So, hey, Ms. Rob. So this is in response to your video and your post you had in your app and then on your YouTube video. So yeah, I was scammed by this guy. My first trip back in February of last year, 2021, I had finally made the trip to South America for the first time. It was February, I guess I got there around the 15th. But anyway, I went down there for my 50th birthday. And I saw this guy. I was in the not Hard Rock, but Hooters and Parque Yaris, and I had met a young lady there, and she was coming to meet me. She got a little bit turned around, and my Spanish is still not that good, but with the language barrier, this guy, the same guy that you had in your video and in the group, we started talking, and how he approached me is he said that he was from New York, and I'm a Jersey guy, and I lived in New York, and I guess I just let my guard down because that was like the connection he had with me. So we were talking, and then I guess he overheard me talking to the girl, and she was trying to find a restaurant. So he initially said, "Hey, I know where she is. Let me go pick her up for you from the cab. Give me the money, and I'll pay the cab, and I'll bring the girl back to you." So I ended up giving him like 200,000 Colombian pesos, maybe $20-$30, whatever. So 10-15 minutes went by. He comes back with the girl, and I'm thinking everything's good. And I'm like, "Hey man, like, where's my change?" He said, "Well, hey, we were talking before. I know you wanted one of the Colombian jerseys, so I'm gonna use the change and I'm gonna go get you a jersey." So I was like, all right, man, whatever. So So the guy leaves, and like maybe 20 minutes later, he comes back. He says, "Hey man, like I couldn't get the jersey, and then like I had been buying them drinks, so we were drinking, and then me and the girl were trying to get to know each other. So then he told me, hey man, your friend wants a little something to smoke, whatever, blah blah blah. So he's like, well, I know the neighborhood, and I've been living here for a couple of years. I know the language, whatever. So he said, like give me like I ended up giving him like another 200,000 on top of the other 200,000 that I give him. So my understanding was that he was gonna get the girl to smoke and get me the jersey. So this whole time, like I'm sitting there with this girl, and this girl saying like, hey man, I have a bad feeling for this guy. This guy was hitting on me, asking me did I have any friends, this, that, and the third. And I guess, just being naive, and again, like, I guess I dropped my guard down because, we had that connection of being Americans and being from the same place. But anyway, long story short, I ended up giving him altogether like 400,000 pesos. And then, the last time when he said he was going to go get this girl something to smoke and me the jersey, man, me and this girl was in Hooters. We waited for like an hour. We were just sitting there, and she was getting ready, she was getting antsy, and it was that time to go, man. And I just really had faith that he was coming back, but end of the day, he never came back. This is almost a year ago now, and when I saw that picture and saw your video, I said, man, this is the same guy that got me, man. So I hope that that we can come together as a group and get this guy arrested or something, man. I mean, end of the day, I'm not gonna cry over 400,000 pesos. I mean, less than $100, but expensive lesson. I learned it. I'm more cautious, especially with my own people, which is sad to say. When we leave our own borders and we get scammed by our own people, man, it's a hard pill to swallow. But hope this can help somebody. If you guys have any questions or need me for anything, I'm always around and available to support and do anything that I can for the community. All right, thanks for listening to me. Again, Mr. Rob, thanks for doing everything that you do with your videos and getting information out. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay, so you see how he moves around, but someone in the last, and I'm waiting for confirmation. I won't even mention it. I'll put it out in a new video, but I need to confirm that this is true, because if it is, it's even way more serious. A couple of people have suggested it, but nothing as factual. So I'm waiting for this person to contact me, and then I want to confirm that it's him by picture first. Okay, but here's the third one. Please stay with this. Listen to these videos till the end. Again, I'm not monetizing it, so listen to these until the end. You need to know what's going on there. If you are an expat there, be on the lookout for this guy. If you are a visitor, a first-time visitor especially, but if you're a returning visitor, chances are you're going to run into this guy. The longest story I've heard has been 4 years ago, 2017, or 5 years ago. So this cat's been making these moves for almost 5 years that we're aware of. How is he allowed to continue to do this? Anyway, let's step into this one.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you a heads up on what to look out for. This guy is a con man, and he tries to take you into his confidence by befriending you and acting as though he is wealthy and that money is not an issue for him. He says he's a stockbroker, that his family owns a stock brokerage on Wall Street, that they're paying for him to stay at the Energy Apartments. And he'll suggest that you go sit down at a restaurant where the bill comes afterwards. Keep in mind, he has no money. So he'll order some drinks, and then partway through, before the bill comes, he will jump up and say, oh, I need to go next door and buy some blah, blah, blah. In my case, he said he needed cigars. And they don't take credit cards. Could you just loan me $50,000 until I can go to the ATM and I'll pay you back? So you give him the money and he disappears, and so you're stuck for the money and then also his part of the bill that he rung up. So just keep in mind that his whole MO from start to finish is to get money from you. And I would just say that if you give money to someone you've just met and you don't know, probably you're not getting it back.
Okay, another part of the MO that I didn't go over was that he likes cigars. So if you walk around with a cigar, you're marked. He is looking for people smoking cigars. I've heard at least 3 stories about the cigars. Okay, so he does smoke cigars too. So if you see somebody walking around with a cigar, I mean, here's his face. Okay, guys, you know who he is. Don't let him get you, okay? Because it's easy to get got. If you think you can't get got, you probably already have. I ask myself all the time, you think you can get got?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Of course.
I think we all agree.
Yes.
Positively.
Yes.
We all
Yes.
are going to say
Mhm.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
That's right. You better believe. I know for a fact. I have been got, so I know. And that's partially why I do these videos. Again, I need to let you guys travel, but travel safely. You need to be aware. So do due diligence, investigate this, talk to your friends, pass this video around. Again, it's not monetized. I'm going to start putting my own little commercials in here. So if there's something that you want to advertise, let me know. Again, reach out to dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. Again, there's also Strength in Numbers. Join our group. They're the first ones to get all the stories. They're the first ones to have seen this picture or all the pictures. So join our group. If you want to join our group, it's not a WhatsApp group. I ask for your WhatsApp number solely for a reference, okay? So my email is dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com. Send me your name and your WhatsApp number, and I'll get you in. Here's the last story.
Hi, Rob. I'm giving you information in reference to my encounter with the American who is preying on other Americans in Medellin, Colombia at the Santa Fe Mall. In September of last year, I was walking in the Santa Fe Mall, just wasting time waiting for my hotel to give me a call to let me know that the nurse was there so that I could receive my COVID test, so that I could receive my results in order to leave, 2 days, in 2 days. Well, at any rate, I'm walking through the mall and this guy comes up to me and he asked me if I was an American. Hey, man, are you from America? Yeah, well, it's obvious. I'm 6'6", 205 pounds, and I've got on shorts, and an Adidas shirt, and I look nothing like anybody around there. So yeah, of course, I'm American. I look out of place, so to speak. Well, he introduced himself as an American. He was from New York City. And he went on to tell me that he was adopted by Jewish parents. His last name is Cohen, Cohen. He goes by the last name of Cohen. Now, I don't remember his first name, but he went on to tell me that he worked in finance in New York City, and that he had been frequenting Medellin for the past few years, and he eventually took the plunge and moved after he quit his finance job there in New York City. He said that his folks were originally from Colombia, but that he was adopted by, like I said, a Jewish family. And if you know anything about the Jewish names, Cohen is pretty much a well-known Jewish name, a common Jewish name, last name, Cohen. He had the typical, stereotypical New York accent. And, I know New York very well. And I quizzed him on some different areas of New York, and then basically passed the test. So I took him for his word. And hey, he went on and was talking about, like I said, hey, asked me what I was doing there, what I was doing in Medellin, how often I'll come. And he went on to talk about girls and such. And then he asked me, hey, man, have you had lunch? I said, no, I haven't even had lunch, man, but I'm fine. He said, well, look, man, let me buy you lunch. So he was pretty insistent and overbearing. And so I was in Medellin by myself. It was cool to have the company of another American. And even though I did have one eye up, because I really don't trust a lot of people, even when I'm traveling, whether they're Americans or not, I went ahead and let my guards down a little bit. And I said, hey, okay, well, man, yeah, let's do lunch. So we went to a restaurant, and he's like, "Hey man, look, I'll buy you lunch, man. It's no problem. It's cheap. You know, hey, I got." He said he had it. I said, "Okay, well, no problem." Well, he went on and asked the waiter, and he said he didn't know that I spoke Spanish and I understood Spanish. And he asked the waiter if they accepted American Express, and the waiter said, yeah, they accepted American Express. So at any rate, we ordered food, and he went on to talk, about his family, and he said he had some daughters, and on. And so I entertained his conversations. And then, of course, the food came out. And after we got through eating lunch, she was like, hey, man, we're lucky, man. They're going to let us smoke cigars here. Now, I walked, Santa Fe Mall is a pretty big mall. It has several floors. And I don't remember seeing any smoke shops there. Had I seen some smoke shops, I probably would have gone in there and just priced cigars, because I am a connoisseur. An aficionado. But at any rate, he was like, hey man, look, I'll be back. I'm gonna go and get us a couple of cigars. So I said, okay, hey man, okay, I'll be here. Well, that didn't sound, right when he said, hey man, I'll get us a couple of cigars. I'm gonna be right back. And it did cross my mind that maybe this guy was running game on me. He probably wouldn't be back. Well, about maybe 5 minutes later, he did come back, to my surprise. And so he's like, hey man, look, they don't accept American Express, man. They don't accept credit cards. Hey man, you got a couple of dollars, man. I can go and buy these cigars, man. Come on, man. It's only all I need is 50 mil. I said, no, 50 mil. Why do you need money? He said, well, they don't accept American Express. Now keep in mind, in the conversation that he had with the waiter, I do remember him asking the waiter if they accepted American Express. He said it in Spanish. I understood him to ask him. I understood what he was asking the waiter about American Express. So I was like, all right, man, here. So I gave him 50 mil, and he wanted more. I said, no, I'm not giving you more. He said, I gave him 50 mil. So he left. And at that time, I was hoping he wasn't going to come back because he was really getting, starting to annoy me. Now, me being from Memphis, I'm originally from Memphis. I'm accustomed to people running game. I mean, trying to get over. And it's just like I said, it's almost like that spidey sense. I knew something wasn't right. So when he left, I was hoping that really he wasn't going to come back because I wanted to ditch the guy so that I could leave and take care of my business because I really enjoy company by myself. Well, at any rate, 5 minutes went by, 10 minutes went by, and after 15 minutes had gone by, I said, this guy had just played me. I called my brother back in the States and said, man, this guy just probably played me, man. I told my brother what happened. And so I told my brother, hey, man, I'm just going to go ahead and pay for lunch, hope the guy don't come back, and then I'm going to leave. So I went ahead and paid for lunch. It was only like maybe $24. It wasn't that much, but it was just the principle of the matter. And of course, the guy got 50 mil from me. Now, like I said, this guy was very overbearing, very convincing. And if you are an American, especially if you're by yourself, and you're looking for the company of another American, just a conversation, he preys on that. That's his angle, and that's how he gets over. But he is a con. I can identify the guy from any picture that you have. I mean, I have a vivid image tattooed in my memory bank. So I know him. If I see him again, which I'll be going to Medellin the next month or so, and if he is in the Santa Fe Mall, I'll probably see him. But I didn't want to make a scene initially with the guy because I really wanted to tell him to leave me alone. I didn't want to be bothered with him. And basically I wanted to say some choice cuss words at him, but I didn't want to make a scene in the mall. I'm 6'6", 205 pounds, a gringo, so to speak. And I don't want to go to jail. I didn't want to go to jail in Colombia making a scene. And because the guy, he looks like he is paisa. He had his hair was cropped. had hair at the top and his hair was cropped on the sides. And of course, he did look like he was Paisa, Colombian, there from Medellin. But I didn't want to make a scene, and I just went with it. But you guys be careful of this guy, because this guy is preying on people. It could have been worse, because you never know if a guy is willing to try to con you. A guy could be willing to kill you, or do something bad, do harm to you, especially with the onset of the druggings, and with the brother who was actually back in April of last year, I believe it was, in Barranquilla, who was murdered by some Colombians. You just never know. And fortunately, my hotel was really just not even a block from the just about a block from the mall. And thankfully, I didn't go anywhere further with the guy. I didn't leave the Santa Fe Mall premise. But that was my encounter with the guy. Again, he goes by the last name of Cohen. He does have a New York City accent. He does run game, basically saying that he works in the financial industry. And he's very convincing, almost like a salesman. All right, thanks.
Okay, guys. So it looks like I think I've communicated with about 15 people who have confirmed this is the guy. 3 people I haven't spoken to, I think, on the phone yet. But for the most part, everyone that I communicated with, no one went to the Colombian police. Okay, so this is how this guy is allowed to move around the way he does. How somebody hadn't caught up with him, though, and just, treated him American, act like an American. And somebody just don't want to get got, whether it's for 50 mil or what, they don't want to get got, or 300 mil or 500 mil or whatever it is. They don't want to get got. I don't know how this guy is allowed to move around the way he does for months. Now, I've heard 2 stories of him running because people did try to catch up with him. But it looks like no one is going to the Colombian police. So I'm going to leave a link. I don't know if you can leave your information anonymously, but at least you can put the information in there or come up with a fictitious name. But use that link, guys. You have to do something. I feel like we have to do something. Knowledge is power. So number one, I'm putting this information out there so that you are aware and don't get got in this manner. There's a whole myriad of ways to get got down there. So you have to be careful, because it's not just, I've heard other stories that I'm not going to put here yet because I have not discussed those stories yet and have not confirmed the validity of it. So I want to do due diligence first before I put it out there. But these are the stories by people who got. There's more coming, but I have more videos coming. I visited my charity. I did an interview with Carlton. I walked around Parque Yeres. What else did I do? And I have a video on Colombian currency. I've done it twice before. You can go back and take a look at it, but most people don't go back and look at the old videos. So I'm going to put it here. Again, if you're getting any benefit out of my videos, but one quick message from Cool Man before you go.
So I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you go down and hit subscribe. And definitely like. It helps that YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying?